Hilliker. I am from Louisville, Kentucky, United States. I am currently working and interning abroad here in Florence, Italy, and I will be here and starting my marketing internship with the International School of Florence on February 24th and working until the end of my program on April 25th. So to begin, a bit about my culture in the United States and in Kentucky. Our main aspect of our culture is the horse business and horse racing, which is a significant source of income and economic turning in our state. So a lot about horses and racing. Our main language in Kentucky and in the United States is English. A very common popular food in Kentucky is fried chicken and pancakes and some breakfast foods. Everybody in Kentucky is very friendly and greets with hi and hello and how are you in a very Southern hospitality way. Another aspect of the culture is family and spending time with family, as well as religion and church. And there's many different religions in the United States and in Kentucky, but mostly Catholic in our region of Kentucky. I would say that the clothing culture in the US and especially Kentucky is very athletic and casual. Additionally, our culture tends to be very sensitive, in my opinion, and our society is very fast-paced and moves very fast. Some of the similarities or points of difference that I find between my culture and that of my host country is many differences. My first impressions just off my first few weeks here and by using the country comparison tool is first that Italy is completely different from Kentucky in many ways. First of all, here in Italy, the food and the health standards are much higher, whereas in the US, they're definitely not as good, and we have a lot of bad things that are actually banned in Europe that are allowed in our foods. And you can definitely taste the difference. I've noticed this in the restaurants I've visited. The country comparison tool shows that the US is higher on the indulgence scale, which is an indicator that the US indulges and doesn't mind their health standards as much as Italy, in my opinion. Second, in Italy, the people here are used to speaking multiple languages, such as Italian, French, and Spanish, or German. And while in the US, and especially in Kentucky, we only speak English, and it's very rare that other people know or can speak multiple languages. This correlates to the country comparison tool indicator of motivation towards success, where Italy scored higher, which I feel that this language aspect is something that holds a lot of Americans back. Another one, and probably one of the biggest here, is the difference in time and how time is prioritized. Here, it seems like time is very precious to the people and it stands still. And in the US, it is a very fast-paced society with a go, go, go mentality. And there's little to no appreciation of breaks or moments in the day like coffee, which I find and I really like about Italy. This is an indicator of individualism, which is higher in the United States. And I feel like that makes a lot of sense because everyone is seeming to worry only about themselves and keep to themselves and their job and just climbing the corporate ladder and just making as much money and growing old, which is not how they are here. Lastly, Italy has a very long, rich history, while in the US we have a very young history only dating back to the 1600s, which in comparison to global history is very young in the scheme of historical events. So moving on to my culture and how this translates into my test scores from the assertive and responsiveness section. I scored a 33 out of 65 on the assertiveness and a 50 out of 65 on the responsiveness. And this meant that I fell into the amiable category for my work. And I definitely think this applies to me. Once I got the score, it made a lot of sense because my Clifton Strengths test that I completed at the beginning of my program showed me that my top 5 Clifton strengths are relator, context, harmony, connectedness, and intellection, which I feel reflects a genuine concern for others and a desire to foster harmonious relationships, especially in the workplace. So comparing the amiable result with my Clifton strengths, I feel that they really resonate because they focus on my passion for collaboration and understanding, which I definitely feel like I rely on when I'm interacting with colleagues or meeting new people in the workplace. I think the results are pretty useful for my daily work and career planning, and it shows that I just love the importance of fostering a positive work environment and being a team player in the workplace. So knowing this about myself and understanding what that all means are really important for my leadership and career advancement and kind of learning how to be a good worker in this internship and then hopefully taking that to my next job. I consider myself a people person, so it does make me feel good that the test results came together. Moving on to the main points of the article, I read the article Cultures and Persons Characterizing National and Other Types of Cultural Difference Can Also Aid Our Understanding and Prediction of Individual Variability by Peter Smith and Michael Bond. I feel the main point is that this explores the relationship between cultural context and individual behaviors of people and where they travel to, such as understanding individual variability. And the author argues that understanding how individuals are different requires an understanding of their culture and how they operate within that culture. Second, there's an interrelationship between culture and the individual experience. So larger cultural groups influence the specific experience of the people within their groups. So that is how individual behavior is shaped. Also, there is an aspect of psychological research, and it's an emphasis on the importance of cultural context, and there's probably more psychological research needed to understand human behavior. And in summary, the article underscores the significance of cultural context in shaping who people are as persons and advocating for a more intensive approach that actually integrates those cultural factors into the study of people. So moving on to the cultural iceberg video, I really enjoyed this video and this symbolism, and what I got out of this video was that there are aspects of a culture that on the surface seem very superficial and very obvious, but many things that people don't know about a culture is what is beyond the obvious. So what is very much surface level and on the tip of the iceberg could be language, art, music, food, greetings, dress, and rituals. And if you really want to get to know a culture or know a people, to truly know them is to know all aspects of their culture, which are often hidden beneath the surface and takes a lot of time to discover. So these are things such as their worldview, their religion, their spiritual beliefs, their power relationships, the decision making, their concept of time, like I've seen here in Italy, status, concepts of justice, and emotional management. So in summary, the more immersed we are in a culture, the more we will find under the surface and understand a culture truly. So I feel that I will be able to do this in my few months here in Italy, and I hope that this is furthering my understanding of the Italian culture. Thank you.